good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet. Coach Kyle Evans coming to you on this Wednesday morning. It's time. It's time. It is 8 a.m. Central Time, the only time zone that matters. If you know, you know. Guys, we got something to talk about today. We are wrapping up our client obsession series. We are wrapping up the last piece of the puzzle, the last thought. We're landing this plane. It has been an awesome series so far, at least in my opinion. Obviously, I'm a little biased. However, the feedback from you guys, texting, emailing, a couple calls about it, and then shout out Sammy for putting together an entire, what would you call it, playbook on the Client Obsession series. She took it from the podcast and made an awesome plug and play model out of it. So love that wizardry is a tough word, wizardry there that you did. Super cool to see people not just listening, but taking and seeking application. How can we put these things into practice? I think so often we hear a cool idea, or we go to a conference, or listen to a podcast, or read a book, take some notes down, and then we never actually put them into play. We've built a great knowledge set, but we're learning just for knowing's sake, instead of what we talk about in the 6 Personal Perspectives by Gary Keller is learning to earn, right? We want to learn for earning's sake. We want to learn to do, to put into practice, to adopt. So I love seeing that out there. Just a reminder, recapping everything, right? We talked about service is dead, long live the experience. What experience are we providing? We talked about how tiny details can absolutely build lifelong trust. Talked about going from transactional to tribal, right? Shifting from clients to a community, making people feel like they actually belong. And yesterday we talked about being the favorite story to tell of our clients, creating magical moments, right? Heroes get remembered, kid, but legends never die. Today, the last day of the series, I'm calling it, it starts with you, it can't end with you. Because here's the thing. If you have an organization, if you have a team, heck, if you're just in a brokerage, I say Justin, if you are in a brokerage, you're a solo agent, how you start to act, the people you surround yourself with, the culture that you're building, part of, giving energy to, it shows up. It can't just be you. We've got to go impact the people that we're doing business with, or the people that we're around. Because if you're the only one who's obsessed with the client experience, your impact will die with you. It will. So how do we do this, man? Like today, I really want to spend some time on at least the foundation, or the beginning of building a culture where every person, every system, every decision echoes hospitality. Again, I'm talking with you, not at you, because this is something that's near and dear to my heart, and we're beginning to really go from good to great on inside of our organization constellation. It's a big deal, because I don't know about you, I would rather work smarter, not harder, and have people calling us to do business instead of constantly having to hunt, constantly having to chase, having 21-year careers instead of one that keeps getting bigger, bolder, and more beautiful. So my question to you is this: is your culture being built by default, or is it by design? Here's the deal. Culture is happening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, culture is happening, whether you're intentional about it or not. It's going to happen either way. Are you intentionally laying the blocks down? Are you intentionally steering the ship? It's not your brand colors. It's not what you post on Instagram. It's the way your team and your clients talk about you when you're not in the room. It's the standard, not the suggestion. It's the standard that gets protected even under pressure. So if your brand is built on hospitality, client care, emotional experiences, storybook moments, it can't just be your personality. Hear me. A lot of us in this business, I say us, a lot of us in this business rely on strong personalities, or great talent, or being loquacious or engaging individuals. That's great, and yet it can only take us so far. So if our brand is built on hospitality, client care, and emotional experiences, it can't just be built on our personality. It has to become our playbook. We have to have a system around it. Hospitality, it's not just a trait, it's a system. It's got to be taught, it's got to be tracked, celebrated, protected. We don't need to hire more unicorns. You don't need to go out there and continually beat your head against the wall because you can't find the perfect person. Maybe, just maybe, you need to train the people around you, starting with yourself. I said it. Starting with yourself. Let me paint the picture here. In a client-obsessed business, right? A client-obsessed business. You see some great examples of that. I think Gary V's organization, Vayner Media, is doing a good job of this. I think the Savannah Bananas, Jesse Cole, the man behind that, doing a really good job of client-focused. Amazon, one of the reasons they're so successful is in the beginning, for sure, they're extremely focused on client satisfaction. They were sending refunds, they were sending the package back out like no questions asked. They changed the way that people think about the mail because they were obsessed with the client. Let's take that Let's take that a bit deeper though. If we're talking about an obsessed culture for our clients, does every team member, including yourself, know the emotional why behind that client? Not just the task list. Some of the agents on my roster, my partners in coaching, I'll get an eye roll every now and then because they'll talk to me about a situation with a client or a deal. And my first question almost always is, why are they doing this? Or what is the motivation? Do you know that? Does every process in your organization have a human element to it, a human layer? Does every client story get internal airtime? I'm not talking about just the beautiful billboard you make about helping a family. I'm talking about like inside. Are you guys resonating on it? Are you approaching them with empathy, with care, with candor, with understanding the importance of the situation they're in? Does every celebration, every client celebration, is it intentional or is it just efficient? It's the difference between we closed escrow today and, hey, today we helped a single mom buy her first home after bankruptcy. Let's go. You see the difference there? The chasm between the two is bigger than the Grand Canyon. And yet so often we can get so caught up in keeping with the Joneses and looking at production numbers and who's in the top 10, 50, 100, and am I on Real Producers and all that. And we forget that today we could help a single mom buy her first home after bankruptcy that she gets to raise her family in. That's a different vibe, ladies and gentlemen. That's a different language. That's a different ritual. It comes with different standards and different energy. That should be the echo in your halls, in your head. That's client obsession. That's not contract obsession. It's not about fluff. It's about creating loyalty so deep it becomes a marketing strategy. You heard me? It's about creating loyalty so deep it becomes a marketing strategy. I just mentioned them. The Savannah Bananas swept the nation, continues to sweep the nation, now playing sold out professional stadiums because it was client focused. They are obsessed, literally, with the client experience, and it is paying dividends. It becomes its own marketing strategy in itself. So as always, I don't want to just give you theory. I don't just want to give you presence. I want to give you actual steps that we can take to begin to accomplish this. The once a week check-in. Once a week check-in. You can call it your hospitality huddle, if you will. Whether it's with your team or just yourself. Once a week, can you write down on your whiteboard in your office or on your computer screen or with your team, can you write down hospitality moment of the week and then share it? Write it down so you can see it. You can resonate with it the entire week long. Once a week, can you pick out a defining moment and put it on the board? Hey, that's our rally cry. That's our trophy for the week. That's what we did. That's an easy one. That helps us with the foundational layer of these things. I mentioned before that you could do a client tracker, right? The memory tracker, pets' names, favorite drinks, life stressors, things that they're going through, anniversaries, big moments. Have that in their file, their dossier, if you will. Another idea that you can think of, if you're on a team, by the way, if it's just you, this job is yours. It's the CEO. And I don't mean chief executive officer. I mean the client experience officer. Who's in charge of the client experience? Even if it's part-time, even if it's someone on the team who's got another job, who is guarding the emotional layer of your operations? Who is the keeper of the culture, if you will? Another idea that you can think about is starting to fund a magic moments budget, right? So each month you have an allocation for some of these ideas. Even if you're starting small, $5 a week, $10 a week, $100 a closing, whatever it is for you, can you start to put a budget specifically for this task? So it's there to pull on, to access whenever the mood strikes, whenever the moment is there. It's very easy. Make it a bill that you pay. Change the mentality around it. Because sometimes if it's an optional budget, if you're anything like me in my household, that optional budget never gets paid. But if you make it a bill that you pay into, the mind around it, the mindset around it changes. Another idea is what we measure moves, right? Are you tracking your referrals by moments? Like, what do people say when they refer you? Like, someone calls your sign, someone calls your number, whatever. They're like, hey, Kyle, Susan referred me to you. Awesome. Hey, love that. Let me ask you, man, what did Susan have to say about us? So curious. What did they say? What is standing out? Is there a theme there? Is an identity there? Is there a common thread of stories? Or is there no common thread? That should tell you enough in itself. What if they talk about move-in surprises that you provide? What if they talk about the above and beyond memory that you have, right? The way you listen. These are things that can be replicated, but we've got to pay attention first. Finally, are you celebrating human wins? Are you promoting stories of kindness and creativity just as much as sales numbers? This is something that I have work to do on, but I also recommend to other people is when you're posting about a closing or a client win, are you posting the story behind it? Are you telling it as a story? Stories sell, man. Stories motivate. Stories move. Are you telling the right stories about your wins? Is it just 100 families served? Or is it, here's my top 5 families that we helped this month and the awesome stories around it? Susan and Rick, we did this for them. Frank and Stephanie, we did this for them. Billy and Bobby, we did this for them. Whatever it is, are there stories around it? There was a team that I was coaching a few months back, or am, and their numbers were solid. They were good. Everything's growing. But they weren't memorable, right? They were doing, what do you call it? I won't say historic, but they're just doing the things, right? They're making the calls, they're doing the stuff, they're doing what we were taught. There wasn't enough emotion in it. There wasn't enough heartbeat in it. There wasn't enough culture in it. So we started a weekly ritual with the team. Kind of what I talked about with the whiteboard, writing a weekly moment. Hey, what was our cultural moment? What was our client win this week emotionally, right? What was the best moment that we created for our people? At first, ladies and gentlemen, it was real awkward. It was. No one was sharing. It was weird because it was something new. Then it got real. One day, the transaction coordinator said, "Hey, I saw that one of our clients' kids are in the hospital." So she immediately sent a DoorDash gift to the family and said, "Dinner is on us." Here's what I want you to understand about that. The culture was beginning to change for the team. So now everyone is compelled, everyone is called to be in that culture and be in lockstep with that and take initiative to create magic moments. Do you think those people felt seen when dinner was bought from them by their agent? The answer is yes. P.S. Their sales are up 28%, 28%, in a market where everything's going down, or a lot of times it's going down. Just saying. I'm just saying. We don't need better people. We need a better lens to look at our business through. So let's bring this full circle, because I got a room full of people to teach today over here in Houston, Texas, with my bold crew. Client obsession starts as a choice, but it becomes a movement when you make it contagious. So your challenge today is pick one strategy. Pick one and install it in your business this week. Is it the hospitality huddle, the hospitality moment? Is it the client memory log? Is it the budget for moments? Pick just one and start it. Choose one past client this week and do something unreasonably thoughtful. No pitch, no ask, just a moment that says, "I see you, I got you, this is for you," chef's kiss. And finally, my challenge to you is this: look inward and ask, is my team accidentally building efficiency, or are we building belonging? And what are you willing to shift so they do both? This world is chasing attention. We will win by creating affection, not likes, loyalty, not clicks, community. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't need you to be the flashiest. I don't need you to be the loudest. I need you to be the most human in a world that's forgotten how. Always remember, people will forget what you said. They will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Do you make them feel seen? Do you make them feel safe? Do you make them feel significant? You will never run out of business again if you do. Now go be someone worth talking about. Go be a business worth talking about this week. I'm fired up for you. I'm fired up for me, and I'm fired up for what we're about to do in Houston, Texas with this Gary Keller Onward Bold. I will see you, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow. Thanks for playing today. Go have a great one.